All right, so today we're diving into the mystery of Babaji.
Okay.
You shared chapter 33 of Autobiography of a Yogi with us, and it seems like you're really fascinated by this figure who claims to be physically immortal.
Yeah, he's a really intriguing figure.
So let's unpack what Yogananda tells us and see if we can glean any wisdom from this enigmatic guru.
Yeah, sounds good.
One of the things that strikes me right away is that Babaji never seeks the spotlight.
But that's right. He operates in the shadows,
Yeah.
guiding other spiritual figures rather than building a following of his own.
Yeah, and the book hints that he's been doing this for centuries, maybe even millennia.
Yeah, it's really quite remarkable.
Which raises the question for me, if someone is truly dedicated to uplifting humanity, wouldn't they make their wisdom available to everyone?
Right.
Why this cloak and dagger approach?
Well, it's a good question, and one that's puzzled many spiritual seekers.
Yeah.
But Yogananda's account suggests that Babaji's methods are all about individualized transformation, not mass movements. For instance, he initiates Lahiri Mahasaya into Kriya Yoga, knowing that Lahiri will then pass this powerful practice down to his own disciples and so on.
So it's like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Expanding outward from a single point.
Precisely. And think about the impact Kriya Yoga has had. It's been revitalized in the modern era.
Yeah.
Thanks to Babaji's intervention. And millions have benefited from its teachings on controlling prana, accelerating spiritual growth, and ultimately achieving self-realization.
So rather than broadcasting his message to the world, Babaji focuses on empowering specific individuals to carry the torch, so to speak.
Right.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
It makes me think of the story about his sister Mataji and the promise he makes about his physical form.
Right.
Could you remind us about that encounter?
Of course. It's a pivotal moment in the chapter.
Yeah.
And it takes place at the Dasama bathing ghat.
Okay.
Yogananda recounts the experience of Ram Gopal. Right.
Who witnesses this meeting between Babaji and his sister, both appearing in radiant youthful forms.
The scene sounds almost cinematic.
It does, doesn't it?
Emerging from a hidden cave, levitating figures, the moonlit Ganges.
Right.
But amidst all this mystical imagery, there's a profound conversation happening.
Yes, and it touches upon a core theme, the nature of physical immortality.
Yeah.
Babaji initially expresses his desire to shed his physical form.
Interesting.
But Mataji challenges him, questioning why it matters if his spirit is embodied or not.
It's a clever tactic, almost like she's outsmarting him into staying put.
It is a fascinating exchange.
Yeah.
And ultimately, Babaji acknowledges the divine will speaking through his sister.
Okay.
And makes a promise that echoes throughout the ages.
Wow.
I will never leave my physical body. It will always remain visible to at least a small number of people on this earth.
That statement alone throws a wrench into our typical understanding of life and death.
Right.
It suggests that those limitations are not as fixed as we might believe.
But it also makes me wonder if this physical form is so unimportant. Why bother keeping it at all?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
You've likely heard of avatars like Krishna or Buddha.
Of course.
Figures who descend into the physical realm to guide humanity.
Yeah.
They represent the embodiment of divine principles, but their impact goes beyond words and teachings.
Because they're living proof.
Exactly, by retaining his physical form. Babaji offers a tangible example of what humans can achieve.
Right.
It's like he's saying, look, I'm doing it, transcending limitations, defying time, so why not you?
So it's about potential.
Yeah.
About pushing past those boundaries we often set for ourselves.
And Yogananda hints at some traditional indicators of this transcendence.
Okay.
He mentions that avatars cast no shadow and leave no footprints.
Right.
Of course, this isn't meant literally, but it signifies their detachment from the material world.
So it's a symbolic representation of their freedom from the constraints that bind most of us.
Precisely, they operate on a different level of existence. One where those limitations simply don't apply.
That's a fascinating concept, and it makes me think about the implications for our own lives. If even the idea of physical immortality is possible, what does that say about our own potential for growth and evolution?
Yeah.
But we'll delve into that later.
Yes, that's a discussion worth having.
But first, perhaps we should explore some of the specific ways Babaji has chosen to influence the world from the shadows.
Let's do that.
So we've got this mysterious figure operating behind the scenes, defying time itself. But what's the point?
Right.
If he's not interested in fame or followers,
Yeah.
what's the purpose of all this?
It seems like Babaji's mission is all about awakening the potential that lies dormant within humanity.
Okay.
Not through grand pronouncements or mass movements, but by subtly nudging us towards a deeper understanding of ourselves and our connection to the divine.
That reminds me of the passage in the book where Yogananda describes Babaji as working in harmony with the silent, subtle, yet irresistible power of evolution.
Right.
It's like he understands the natural flow of things and simply helps it along.
Exactly. He's not trying to force change, but rather to guide and accelerate it. And Kriya Yoga seems to be a key tool in this process.
Right, we talked about how Babaji initiated Lahiri Mahasaya into this ancient practice, and that's had a ripple effect throughout the world.
Yeah.
But for those of us who haven't experienced Kriya Yoga firsthand, what can you tell us about its essence?
Well, the term Kriya literally means action or process.
Okay.
And in this context, it refers to a set of techniques that empower the practitioner to control prana, the life force that flows through all things.
So it's not just about sitting still and meditating. There's an active component to it.
Absolutely. Yogananda emphasizes that Kriya Yoga involves specific breathing exercises, postures, and mental visualizations.
Wow.
All designed to accelerate spiritual evolution.
Okay.
It's a path of self-effort, of consciously directing your energy towards a higher purpose.
And what's fascinating is that Yogananda describes Babaji as the one who revived this ancient technique,
Right.
passing it down through Lahiri Mahasaya to ensure its continuity in the modern world.
It speaks to Babaji's long-term vision, his understanding that humanity would need these tools in the midst of an increasingly complex and chaotic world.
Okay, so Kriya Yoga is about harnessing this life force, this prana, but how does that connect to Babaji's overarching goal of awakening human potential?
Well, Yogananda describes prana as the bridge between matter and spirit. By mastering the flow of prana within our own bodies and minds, we can access higher states of consciousness and tap into the vast reservoir of energy that fuels the universe.
So it's not just about physical well-being, it's about expanding our awareness, connecting to something larger than ourselves.
Precisely, and that aligns with Babaji's emphasis on direct experience over dogma or belief systems. He's not offering a rigid set of rules to follow, but rather a path of inner exploration of discovering the truth through your own practice and realization.
This idea of direct experience really resonates with me. I've dabbled in meditation, but I often find myself getting caught up in thinking about the right way to do it, or whether I'm making progress.
It's a common struggle. We live in a world that values knowledge and information, but Babaji seems to be pointing us towards a different kind of knowing. One that comes from within, from the depths of our own being.
It's like that saying, knowing the path is not the same as walking the path.
Exactly. And Babaji's life story invites us to embark on that journey, to step beyond the comfort of intellectual understanding and immerse ourselves in the transformative power of direct experience.
But this brings us back to that central paradox. If this direct experience is so crucial, why doesn't Babaji make himself more widely known?
Right.
Why this preference for secrecy and hidden influence?
Well, Yogananda's account offers a clue. He writes that Babaji avoids publicity because he doesn't want to draw attention to his physical form. He understands that people can become fixated on outward appearances, on miracles and spectacle, rather than focusing on the inner transformation that truly matters.
So it's about directing our attention inwards, not getting distracted by the glitter and noise of the external world.
Exactly. He's not interested in mass appeal or superficial conversions. He wants individuals to seek him out, to embark on the journey of self-discovery with genuine sincerity and dedication.
But that raises another question. If we can't all meet Babaji in person, how do we tap into that deeper level of awareness he embodies? How do we even begin to grasp the concept of transcending limitations, of defying time itself? You know, it feels like we've been circling this idea of time throughout our exploration of Babaji. We've talked about him existing for centuries, about defying the typical limits of a human lifespan. And even about his ability to perceive multiple points in time, as Yogananda describes.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
Do you think that understanding time differently is key to unlocking some of the mysteries we've been discussing?
It's an intriguing possibility, for sure. We tend to think of time as this linear progression, past, present, future. And that can make the idea of someone like Babaji difficult to grasp. But what if, as some spiritual traditions suggest, our perception of time is actually a limitation? What if, from a higher perspective, time is more like a vast ocean where all moments coexist?
Okay, that's a big concept to wrap my head around.
I know it's a lot.
But I can see how it might connect to Babaji's apparent immortality.
Yeah.
If he's not bound by this linear view of time,
Right.
maybe those limitations simply don't apply to him.
Exactly.
So how do we do that?
That's the million-dollar question.
It's easy to say, change your perception of time.
Right.
But how do we actually put that into practice?
Well, Yogananda points to Kriya Yoga as a powerful tool for achieving this expanded awareness. He describes it as a technique for withdrawing the attention from the senses and focusing it inward on the source of our being. By stilling the mind and connecting to the flow of prana, we can begin to transcend those limiting thoughts and beliefs that keep us trapped in a linear experience of time.
So it's about cultivating a deeper level of presence.
Yeah.
Of being fully immersed in the now, rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future.
Precisely. And as we deepen our practice, we might find that those rigid boundaries of time begin to soften, revealing glimpses of a more expansive reality. A reality where limitations like aging and death might not hold the same sway.
That's a powerful idea. It makes me think about something you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
That Baba Janja represents a tangible example of human potential.
Right.
It's like he's a living testament to the idea that we're capable of so much more than we typically believe.
Yes, and his choice to remain in physical form to defy those perceived limitations serves as a constant reminder of that potential. It's an invitation to explore those deeper dimensions of ourselves, to break free from the constraints we often impose on our own growth and evolution.
This entire exploration of Babaji has been mind-bending, to say the least.
I know, it's quite a journey.
We've gone from the peaks of the Himalayas to the very nature of time itself. But I feel like we've only just scratched the surface.
Right.
There's so much more to unpack and contemplate.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Babaji's story is a journey without end. A constant invitation to expand our awareness and challenge our assumptions about what's possible.
So for all you deep divers out there, here's a question to ponder as you continue your own explorations.
Okay.
If you had the opportunity to meet Babaji, what would you ask him? Or perhaps a more relevant question, what aspects of your own life could benefit from viewing time a bit differently?
Remember, the path to greater understanding is always open. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep diving deep.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the mysteries of Babaji.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep embracing the infinite possibilities that lie within you.
Thank you for listening till the end. Please subscribe, turn on the notifications, like, comment, and share with your friends. This will help more listeners to discover our channel and content.